Welcome back to the Score Sports Radio 1160, the inaugural edition of the new Score late morning show.
Yeah, I guess you call it a late morning show. Really, sort of a combination morning midday show. We're here till noon, and Mike North will be in at noon, of course, on the new hours of the Score. I'm loath to call it just a morning show.
Like a good
because
idea
we're more than mornings. We're going to be with you till noon.
We don't need to call it anything. All we have to call it is Dan Bernstein and Terry Boers, as produced by Matt Fishman and Jonathan Hood. We should let you know that our telephone number has not changed. It is 773-282-1160.
People are calling that
Boers Barrett's home theater fax machine is accessible at 773-205-2600. And if you are a Cell 1 caller, you should hit pound 1160 to reach the Score. Cade McNown, Terry, apparently angering some veteran teammates.
Oh, my God.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, you know what? I made the point earlier when he was going through the process, and even when he was here in minicamp, that he somehow managed to not make anybody mad at him because he's a pretty cocky kid. I mean, I don't want to go as far as to say arrogant, but he's very, very sure of himself. And he did not to alienate the veterans.
Do I get a second on that?
He's working on it.
The way I've figured this out is if he's right in his criticism, if he's not making it up, if it truly is not his fault.
You believe that, Bob?
No.
You don't believe that, do you?
I don't know if I do or I don't think I do.
I don't think I do. Okay.
If it is truly not his fault, then I like it. Then I want my quarterback doing that. I don't care if he's 15 years old or 35 years old.
Sort of like
Macy Brooks had his ass on the wrong place. Tell him so. Hey, you ran the wrong route.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Maybe Eric Kramer would never say stuff like that, and people aren't ready for it.
Yeah, I just kind of get the feeling, for those who didn't see it, some of the veteran players basically saying Cade McNown never, ever says, it's my fault. I made a mistake. He's always pointing fingers, according to them. And Macy Brooks was one of the plays from the other night, and there are other things as well. And Cade McNown has managed really quickly here. What has he been in camp, about 8-9 days now?
Well, it's good, though.
It's good, yeah.
I want a headstrong quarterback.
Yeah, I don't want a quarterback who's wishy-washy, who's not sure, who isn't take charge. And I happen to kind of have this hunch that the players are probably in the right place, and he's making the wrong play or the wrong read.
That could be.
I like that feeling.
Well, let's be fair now. McNown not only has criticized teammates, but he also says, this is from John Mullen's article in the Tribune.
Mr. Moon.
So now I'm hoping everybody does the right thing, and I'm hoping I do the right thing. It's like, if I do the right thing, they better do the right thing.
It's already bad. I know it's bad.
Right, then it's my fault. But if they don't, then I'm angry. I just want every play out there to be perfect. It's never personal, and it's never anger at them, really. I just want everything to work. I just want everything right. I'm always learning. Heck, I'm only 22 years old. I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open and see what my shortcomings are and try to be better. This guy he's got some politician in him.
Yeah, he does. I think the one problem he has to this point is that this will be okay, by the way, if he becomes a star. If he becomes a star, and even if he does make a mistake and he says it was somebody else's fault, it's okay then. But right now, in the two appearances he's made in the Bears uniform, there really isn't much to say to these veteran players, hey, this guy's the answer.
And the fact is, when you say a quarterback is learning, and when you say he takes time to develop, we automatically start thinking, well, he's got to learn the offense, he's got to understand blitz pickups. There also is something to anybody in a new business learning political skill and learning how to tell teammates they're in the wrong place. Maybe in UCLA, he could grab a freshman by the face mask and say something to him. Part of the developmental process is learning how to deal with your teammates who may be 10, 15 years older.
Yeah, and again, and he's dealt basically with second-teamers. He's still not played behind the first-team offensive line, to my knowledge. At least, I mean, maybe in practice, but not in games.
You should have been jerking around instead of talking about Cade McNown.
This is probably a good sign for the Bears. We'd like to know what you think. 773-282-1160. The Cade McNown Bears watch is on Full Tilt Boogie.
You should have
other things today,
especially because everybody knew I was
a few callers up.
See,
Jim Riggleman and Tyler Houston also want to tip. What was it about this weekend, Bernstein? Everybody was fighting. Was there something that I missed this weekend? Something in the water? Something happened? They're fighting?
It was a really good sports weekend.
It really was.
And as critical as I was early last week about what I thought was over-expansive coverage, hyping the PGA. I thought on Monday and Tuesday it was a little much.
Yesterday made it worth it for you?
I got to tell you something. I don't know if it justified it. If we can say that the product justified all the hype at the beginning, but I don't know how I really couldn't say that because it was just a great sporting event yesterday. Yeah. It was great theater. And
what was it,
I think that Sergio Garcia has just the right kind of joie de vivre
You
to be
idiot.
a real star.
Something, yeah. He has something.
Steak dinner, boom.
Tiger has cultivated an aloofness that has turned some people off. He's when you say someone's the next Jordan, that's good and bad. Because Jordan would never have an opinion on anything for you. Tiger doesn't seem to have an opinion on anything except things that are affecting him.
He will tomorrow.
And Sergio Garcia really seems like someone who is a fresh, new, interesting person.
Yeah, and he once again criticizes the fans for daring to root against him, Tiger said, which is becoming a weekly thing with him.
Don't dare the fans. Don't challenge them, because they'll find reasons to root against him.
He's challenged them every tournament, to my knowledge. Every week he's played, he seemingly has a bad thought for them. Skip Bayless in today's Tribune gives it to him a little bit. It's really nice to see Sergio come along. Maybe we'll see less of Tiger. But Tiger, again, criticizing the fans. There's all this Ryder Cup stuff. You know, I asked a question the other day. I don't know if he's really an easy guy to like. I mean, it seems like very quickly he's managed to alienate some people.
There's a distance to him. This isn't someone who is particularly
warm and fuzzy.
He's not particularly warm. Yeah, he's got a great smile. He's a young guy with a great, marketable smile.
Which one?
Who doesn't say the wrong things usually. But he really has the appearance of being a young golfing machine who's seen, unfortunately, as a product of IMG and David Falk. Of that marketing.
That's probably accurate.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just odd. I would think that of all this stuff, and he does seem to be politically correct about a lot of stuff.
He has to be, because he sell products.
He's Cablination.
That's Jordan.
He tries to be, but yet he continues to criticize the fans that dare root against him. Gee, I heard somebody boo me. I heard somebody say, I hope that ball rolls in the water. I'll give you $1,000 to shoot one in the water. Well, I just find it interesting that he even mentions that stuff. I mean, because no matter who you are, what you are, you're going to have people, Bernsey, who don't like you. That is very simple.
Especially
when you're doing what he does with Mike.
When I got a noise from the radio stage, I ran with it.
There's a few. 773-282-1160 is our phone number. Dan Bernstein and Terry Boers with you until noon on the Score Sports Radio 1160, and this is Andrew in a car phone. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's up, guys? Glad to have your show on now. Look forward to my drive to work now hearing you guys.
Thank you, Andrew.
I just want to have a comment. Yesterday, after the tournament was over, one of the announcers asked Tiger, after his interview and stuff, and they asked, did you see when Sergio looked back and pumped his fist at him? And just, I kind of agree with what you guys are saying about Tiger, how he's very, he's not the most easily guy to be liked. Mm-hmm. But don't you think that some of the media guys were kind of just trying to stir the pot there a little bit and, get him going with that?
Yes, the answer is yes. I think that, as we know, there's been a real outside push, especially by a certain corporation whose headliner is a mouse, to try to create a rivalry between Tiger Woods and David Duval.
Who cares?
Has no personality and is not...
Well, that we've seen yet.
Right. He's not as saleable.
It's early yet, though.
Sergio was just a marketer's dream yesterday.
Oh, after he hit that shot and he goes running up after it,
that little scissors jump was really bad.
Hang
up on the collar already.
Him, and again... It's not
you were nice to him,
Andrew.
But
the same thing
nice. He shouldn't still be on the air.
Nice, let the record
show. There's always a backlash from success. There's always going to be people trying to poke holes in you and trying to shoot you down. I'm not trying to do that. I love watching Tiger Woods play golf, and that will not change. I love watching him play. But I think you're right that there is going to be that kind of reaction.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. And Andrew, we appreciate the call very much. Thank you, my friend.
Next up is car phone Lauren. Lauren, welcome to the Score.
Hey, Dan and Terry, how you doing?
Lauren, how are you?
Doing good. Thank you for injecting a little bit of Tad Gay into my morning drive.
Ouch.
Yeah. Just wanted to ask you guys what you thought about Edgar Bennett on this Bears team. If there's any chance about him possibly not making the cut with the production of like James Allen and Aaron Stecker, and if Bennett just might be a salary that can take the axe.
I think there's a couple of things that work here. It is possible he could be the odd man out. But the one thing that I think they'd sort of like to do, they really, at this point in time, there's not enough yardage to go around or carries of the ball to make Edgar Bennett happy. Of course, he hasn't done anything yet because he's been hurt. But you've got Curtis Enos, that's going to happen. The Bears coaching staff likes James Allen a lot. Edgar Bennett, they're not sure about. I mean, they like him, but they don't know if he's a luxury necessarily they're going to keep around.
It's not a luxury. And how you can work backwards by saying, there's always going to be somebody waived who's a surprise. There's always going to be a story when somebody gets cut and you say, well, I can't believe that guy was cut. So maybe as we identify those people, he'd be a pretty good one. We appreciate the call, Lauren.
It could be. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just, I've seen it suggested that Edgar Bennett could be the odd man out here.
Well, he may be the odd man out, but Curtis Enos will definitely be the odd man in. No doubt.
Mr. Weird. That's it.
Yeah, wow.
Boy, that's a rough road there. That's a rough trail there.
Tiger stuff wasn't bad.
And accurate to this very moment about it, in terms of still loving to watch him play, but his aloofness toward
calculated image.
Yeah, still. Well, and the fact that he's not warm. He's not. And I don't know if any of those guys are really warm, but he's not warm.
That was the first segment of our first ever show.
He's warm, but not that way.
Welcome back to 2010 here.